I'm the kind of guy who gets suspicious if my sandwich is cut evenly. So when my wife Emily started humming while doing laundry, something she'd never done in our 8 years of marriage, every alarm bell in my thick skull started clanging like a fire station at rush hour. My name is Sam Callahan, and I manage construction projects for a living. That means I spend my days dealing with contractors who lie about deadlines, suppliers who promise miracles, and city inspectors who treat building codes like suggestions. In other words, I'm pretty good at spotting bullshit. Emily's bullshit started small. Late nights at the office became mandatory team meetings. Her phone, which used to sit on the kitchen counter like a sleeping cat, suddenly lived in her purse with the ringer off. She bought new underwear, the kind that costs more than my work boots and serves about as much practical purpose. "You're being paranoid, Sam," she'd say when I asked about her new habits. "Can't a woman want to feel good about herself?" "Sure, Emily, and I'm the Queen of England." The first real red flag came on a Tuesday night in March. I was in the garage, fixing a leaky pipe that our landlord had been ignoring for 3 months, when I heard Emily on the phone in the kitchen. Her voice had that breathy quality she used to reserve for me, back when we still talked about things other than mortgage payments and whose turn it was to take out the trash. "I know, Rick, but we have to be careful," she was saying. "Sam's already asking questions." Rick, her college boyfriend, the guy she'd described as ancient history when we first started dating. Ancient history doesn't usually call married women at 9:30 on a Tuesday night. I dropped my wrench and it clattered against the concrete floor like a gunshot. The conversation in the kitchen stopped abruptly. "Sam? Is everything okay out there?" "Just peachy," I called back, pipes being stubborn, like my wife, apparently. Over the next few weeks, I started paying attention, really paying attention. Emily would disappear into the bathroom with her phone for 20-minute showers. She'd volunteer to run errands that used to be my job, grocery shopping, picking up dry cleaning, anything that got her out of the house with her phone. My best friend Dave works security at the mall and has a suspicious mind that makes mine look trusting. When I mentioned Emily's new habits over beers one Friday night, he nearly choked on his Budweiser. "Brother," he said, wiping foam from his mustache, "that woman is either planning a surprise party or planning to surprise you with divorce papers." "It's not my birthday for 6 months," I replied. Dave gave me the kind of look you'd give a puppy that just walked into a glass door. "Sam, my friend, you are about to get an education in the fine art of being screwed over." He was right, of course. Dave's always right about these things. His ex-wife ran off with their accountant, taking half his savings and his favorite recliner. He's got a PhD in marital betrayal. The smoking gun came on a Saturday morning in April. Emily was at her yoga class, or what she claimed was yoga class, and I was doing laundry. In the pocket of her jeans, I found a crumpled piece of paper with a confirmation number and the words, "Miami Beach Resort, April 20th, 24. Our anniversary is in June. My birthday's in October. Emily hates beaches, says sand gets everywhere and ruins her hair. I sat on our bed, holding that piece of paper like it was a live grenade. Miami Beach Resort. 4 days, during a week when she'd already told me she'd be swamped with work projects. My phone buzzed. A text from Emily. "Yoga running long, grabbing lunch with the girls, home around 3. The girls. Right. Because nothing says girls' lunch like booking a romantic getaway to Miami. I spent the next hour doing what any rational, mature husband would do. I snooped through everything Emily owned. Her laptop was password protected, but Emily's not exactly a cybersecurity expert. Her password was our wedding date, which would have been sweet if she wasn't using the laptop to plan a vacation with another man. Her email told the whole story. Rick Franklin, owner of Franklin Luxury Motors, had been in touch for 3 months. The emails started innocent enough. "Saw your LinkedIn profile, would love to catch up," but quickly escalated to, "Can't stop thinking about our time together," and Emily, you deserve so much better. Better than what? Better than a husband who works 60-hour weeks to keep us in a decent apartment? Better than a guy who still brings her coffee in bed on Sunday mornings? Better than someone who's never cheated, never lied, never made her feel like she was settling? Apparently, yes. The Miami trip was Rick's idea. A business conference he'd invented as cover. He'd even created fake conference materials. Rick was thorough, I'll give him that. The man who sold overpriced cars to desperate people had put real effort into selling my wife a fantasy. Emily came home at 3:15, glowing from her yoga class and humming that same tune that had started this whole investigation. "How was yoga?" I asked, not looking up from my laptop. "Great, really worked up a sweat." She kissed my forehead, and I caught a whiff of cologne that definitely wasn't mine. "I'm going to shower." "Emily," I said, as she headed toward the bathroom. "Yeah? Have a good lunch with the girls?" She paused, just for a second, but it was enough. "Oh yeah, Tara's got drama with her boyfriend again. You know how it is." I knew exactly how it was. That night, Emily made dinner, actually cooked with real ingredients and everything. She opened a bottle of wine, lit candles, and spent the evening being more attentive than she'd been in months. It was like being married to a guilty conscience with great legs. "Sam," she said as we were cleaning up, "I need to tell you about a work thing." Here it comes, I thought. The big lie. There's a marketing conference in Miami next week. It's last minute, but it's a great opportunity for networking. I know the timing's not ideal, but— "Sounds great," I interrupted. "You should go." Emily blinked. "Really? You're not upset?" "Why would I be upset? It's work, right?" "Right, exactly. Just work." She was a terrible liar. I'd seen better acting in high school plays. The next morning, Emily left early for pre-conference preparation. As soon as her car disappeared around the corner, I called Dave. "She's going to Miami with the ex," I told him. "Damn! I was hoping I was wrong." Dave paused. "What's the plan?" "I'm working on it. Please tell me it involves public humiliation." "Dave, my friend, you know me so well." Monday morning, Emily texted me from the airport. "Flight's delayed, but should be in Miami by noon. Don't be jealous. It's just a harmless trip to Miami with my ex." She actually wrote that. "Don't be jealous. It's just a harmless trip to Miami with my ex." Like she was admitting to everything and daring me to do something about it. I stared at that text for a full minute, feeling something cold and sharp settle in my chest. Emily thought I was stupid. She thought I was the kind of husband who'd swallow any lie, accept any excuse, and smile while she made a fool of me. She was about to learn otherwise. I typed back, "No problem, but his wife isn't very happy about it." Then I sent a screenshot of Emily's text to Monica Franklin. My phone started ringing immediately. Monica Franklin called me 17 times in the first hour. When I finally answered, she was crying, screaming, and threatening to burn down half of Miami Beach. "That bastard told me he was going to a car auction," she sobbed into the phone. "A fucking car auction, Sam. And your wife is there with him?" "Apparently so," I said, trying to sound calmer than I felt. "I just found out myself." "Where do you live?" Monica asked. "I'm coming over." "Monica, maybe we should—" "Where do you live?" I gave her my address. What else was I going to do? The woman's husband was screwing my wife in Miami. We were allies now, whether I liked it or not. Monica arrived 20 minutes later, driving a black BMW like it was a missile aimed at my front door. She was tall, blonde, and furious in a way that made hurricanes look like gentle breezes. She wore a designer suit that probably cost more than I make in a month, and her heels clicked against my sidewalk like gunshots. "Show me everything," she demanded, pushing past me into my living room. I showed her the emails, the Miami confirmation, the months of lies and careful planning. Monica read it all with the focus of a prosecutor building a murder case. "This is good," she said, photographing everything with her phone. "This is very good." "Good?" Rick's been cheating for years. I knew it, but I could never prove it. This time, I've got proof. She looked up from her phone. And your wife just handed us everything we need to destroy them both. Monica, I don't want to destroy anyone. I just want— You want what? To forgive and forget? To work it out in counseling? Monica laughed, but there was no humor in it. Sam, let me explain something to you. Right now, your wife is in a hotel room with my husband, probably ordering room service and planning how to spend the money they're going to take from us in the divorce. You think they deserve your mercy? She had a point. My phone buzzed. A text from Emily. Conference is great so far. Wish you were here. I showed Monica the text. Her face went through several interesting color changes. That bitch, she whispered. That absolute bitch. Monica, no, Sam. They want to play games? Let's play games. Before I could stop her, Monica was typing on her phone. Fast. What are you doing? Posting on Facebook. So grateful to find out my husband Rick Franklin is in Miami with his college girlfriend instead of the car auction he told me about. Some wives are so lucky. And I'm tagging everyone we know. Monica, wait. Already posted. And I'm sending the screenshots to his boss, his mother, and that gossipy receptionist at his dealership who knows everyone in town. My phone started buzzing. Then it started ringing. Then it started doing both at the same time. Jesus, I muttered, watching notifications pile up on my screen. This is just the beginning, Monica said with satisfaction. By tonight, everyone in 3 counties is going to know what Rick and Emily are up to. She was right. By 5 o'clock, my phone had exploded with calls, texts, and social media notifications. Emily's co-workers, our neighbors, people I hadn't talked to in years. Everyone wanted to know if it was true, if Emily was really cheating, if I was okay. My neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, knocked on my door with a casserole and a hungry expression. Sam, dear, I heard about Emily, she said, pushing past me with the practiced ease of a professional busybody. I always thought there was something off about her. The way she'd leave the house all dressed up, claiming she was going to work. And that new car she's been driving. Where did that come from? What new car? Mrs. Patterson's eyes lit up. She lived for moments like this. Oh, you didn't know? She's been driving a red sports car on weekends. Parks it 2 blocks over like she doesn't want you to see it. I thought it was strange. A red sports car. Rick sold cars for a living. The pieces were clicking together like a jigsaw puzzle made of betrayal and lies. What kind of car? I asked. One of those expensive ones. A Corvette, maybe? Or a Porsche? I don't know cars, but it was definitely the kind that costs more than my house. After Mrs. Patterson left with her empty casserole dish and a head full of fresh gossip, I sat in my living room and tried to process everything. Emily wasn't just cheating. She was living a completely separate life, a life with expensive cars and Miami vacations, and God knows what else. My phone rang. Dave. Dude, Facebook is going insane, he said without preamble. Monica Franklin just declared World War III on your wife. I noticed. This is beautiful, Sam. I mean, it's terrible for you personally, but from a revenge perspective, this is art. It doesn't feel like art. It feels like my life is imploding. Your life was already imploding. Now it's imploding publicly, which means Emily can't control the narrative. She can't gaslight you or make you think you're crazy. Everyone knows what she did. Dave was right. For months, Emily had been making me feel like I was paranoid, jealous, imagining things. Now the whole world could see that I'd been right all along. So what's next? I asked. Now we wait for Emily to call. I didn't have to wait long. At 7:30, my phone rang with Emily's ringtone. Sam? Her voice was shaky, panicked. What's happening? Monica Franklin is posting crazy things about me on Facebook, and people are calling me a homewrecker. What did you tell her? I told her the truth, I said calmly. That you're in Miami with her husband. It's not what you think. Emily, you texted me that you were on a harmless trip with your ex. What am I supposed to think? It's a conference. Rick just happens to be here too, and we ran into each other. Emily. What? Stop lying. I've seen the emails. I know about the planning, the fake conference, all of it. I know about the car Rick's been letting you drive. I know this has been going on for months. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Sam, I can explain. No, I said. You can't. You can try, but you can't explain 3 months of lies. You can't explain sneaking around behind my back. You can't explain making me feel crazy for noticing that my wife was acting like a stranger. Please, Sam, don't do this. We can work it out when I get home. When you get home, Emily, you're going to find that a lot of things have changed. I hung up. My phone immediately started buzzing with texts from Emily, but I ignored them. Instead, I called my bank and moved our joint savings into my personal account. I called our landlord and explained that Emily would be moving out. I called a locksmith and scheduled them to change our locks tomorrow morning. If Emily wanted to play games, I was going to play to win. Around 9 o'clock, Monica called again. Rick's been trying to reach me all evening, she said. I'm not answering. Let him sweat. How are you holding up? Better than I expected. You know what the funny thing is? I'm not even surprised. I've known Rick was a cheater for years. I just didn't care enough to do anything about it. She paused. But this time is different. Why? Because this time, he made the mistake of cheating with someone stupid enough to text her husband about it. Emily just gave us everything we need to take them both down. Monica was enjoying this way too much, but I had to admit, her enthusiasm was infectious. For the first time in months, I felt like I had some control over my life. What's the plan? I asked. Tomorrow, while they're still in Miami thinking they're getting away with it, we're going to make sure everyone they know, everyone they work with, and everyone they've ever met knows exactly what kind of people they are. And then? Monica's laugh was sharp as broken glass. And then, Sam, we're going to watch their whole world fall apart. Wednesday morning brought 2 things: a locksmith named Jerry who whistled while he worked, and a phone call from Emily's boss. Sam, this is Patricia Chen from Meridian Marketing. I'm Emily's supervisor. Morning, Patricia. Emily's still in Miami at that conference. That's actually why I'm calling. Patricia's voice was carefully neutral. We don't have any employees attending conferences in Miami this week. In fact, we don't have any conferences scheduled until June. Interesting, I said, watching Jerry install new deadbolts on my front door. Emily seemed pretty excited about the networking opportunities. Sam, I need to ask you directly, is Emily having an affair? The question hung in the air like smoke. Patricia Chen was asking because Monica's Facebook post had made its way through Emily's workplace. In a company of 30 people, gossip traveled faster than email. I believe she is, I said. I see. Patricia sighed. This puts us in a difficult position. Emily's been using sick days and personal time for what she claimed were work-related activities. If she's actually been conducting a personal relationship on company time, that's between you and Emily, I said. But if you need documentation of her actual whereabouts, I might be able to help. After Patricia hung up, Jerry finished with the locks and handed me a set of shiny new keys. Changing locks on a cheating spouse? He asked with a grin. I do about 3 of these a week. Word of advice, change your garage door code too. They always remember the garage door code. Smart man, Jerry. By noon, I was at my job site, trying to focus on a foundation pour that was already 2 days behind schedule. My phone kept buzzing with updates from Monica, who had apparently decided to make destroying Rick and Emily her full-time job. Rick's dealership got 15 calls this morning asking if it's true that Rick Franklin is a cheater, she texted. His boss is not happy. Then, posted the hotel photos on Instagram. You know, the ones Emily posted on her story, tagged Rick in all of them, His family is asking questions. Then, Emily's mother called me. She wants to know if the rumors are true. I told her to ask Emily. Monica was thorough. I had to give her that. Around 2 o'clock, Dave showed up at my job site with coffee and a shit-eating grin. "You're famous," he announced, handing me a cup. "The whole story's all over social media. Miami-Gate is trending locally. That's not a real hashtag. It is now. Monica Franklin is a social media genius. She's got people following this story like it's a soap opera." I pulled up Facebook on my phone. Monica had indeed created a hashtag, and people were using it. Emily's co-workers were posting supportive messages for me. Rick's customers were sharing stories about his sleazy sales tactics. Our neighbors were posting photos of Emily leaving the house in Rick's car. Mrs. Patterson had apparently been documenting Emily's affair for weeks without realizing it. Her innocent neighborhood photos, beautiful morning in our lovely community, showed Emily sneaking around in the background like a cheating ghost. "This is insane," I muttered. "This is justice," Dave corrected. "Emily thought she was smarter than you. She thought she could lie and manipulate and you'd never figure it out. Now the whole world knows she was wrong." My phone rang. Emily again. "Sam, please," she said before I could even say hello. "You have to make this stop. People are calling me horrible names. My boss wants to meet with me when I get back. Rick's wife is posting pictures of us everywhere." "Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to cheat." "It's not cheating. We haven't done anything." "Emily, you're in Miami with another man. You lied to me, you lied to your boss, and you've been sneaking around for months. What would you call it?" "It's complicated." "No, it's not. It's actually very simple. You chose Rick over me. You chose lies over honesty. You chose to blow up our marriage for a weekend in Miami with a car salesman." "Don't call him that." "What should I call him? Your boyfriend? Your future ex-husband's future ex-husband?" Emily started crying. Real tears, not the manipulative kind she used when she wanted something. "Sam, I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But we can fix this. When I get home..." "When you get home, Emily, you'll find that home isn't available anymore." "What does that mean?" "It means I changed the locks. It means I moved the money. It means I'm done being married to someone who thinks I'm stupid." "You can't do that. It's my house too." "Actually, the lease is in my name. The utilities are in my name. The furniture is mine. You can come get your clothes, but you'll need to call first." More crying, then anger. "This is kidnapping. This is financial abuse. I'll call the police." "Emily, you're in Miami with another man, lying to everyone about why you're there. Call whoever you want. I'm sure they'll be very sympathetic." I hung up and immediately got a text from Monica. "Rick just tried to call me. I sent it to voicemail. He sounded panicked." Then another. "Posted Rick's voicemail on TikTok. It's already got 500 views." Dave was scrolling through his phone, laughing. "Dude, Monica is savage. She posted Rick's voicemail where he's begging her to be reasonable and think about their marriage. The comments are brutal." "What are people saying?" "Mostly things like, should have thought about your marriage before you went to Miami, and Emily's husband deserves better. Oh, and someone started a GoFundMe for your legal fees. That's ridiculous. It's up to $300. Wednesday night, I sat in my newly secured apartment, eating takeout Chinese food and watching my phone blow up with notifications. Emily had posted her own Facebook statement, a long, rambling explanation about misunderstandings and jumping to conclusions that convinced exactly no one. The comments on her post were a mix of support from her mother and sister and brutal honesty from everyone else. "Girl, you're in Miami with another woman's husband. What did you expect?" wrote her co-worker Tara. "Sam deserves better than this," posted our neighbor Jim. "Rick Franklin sold me a lemon 3 years ago. This doesn't surprise me at all," added someone I didn't recognize. Thursday morning, Emily and Rick were scheduled to fly home. I knew this because Monica had found their return flight information and posted it on Instagram with the caption, "The cheaters return. Will they Uber together or separately?" I was at work, trying to focus on a plumbing inspection, when my phone rang. Unknown, Miami number. "Sam, it's Rick. Rick Franklin." I almost hung up, but curiosity got the better of me. "What do you want, Rick?" "Look, man, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Emily and I are just friends. We're not doing anything inappropriate." "Rick, I've seen the emails. I know about the planning, the fake conference, the car you've been letting her drive. I know you've been working on this for months." "It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. You're a married man who decided to pursue my wife. You helped her lie to me, lie to her boss, and lie to your wife. You're not a victim here, Rick. You're a predator." "Now wait just a minute. No, you wait. You're about to find out what happens when you mess with the wrong family. Monica's already destroyed your reputation. Emily's about to lose her job, and I'm just getting started. Are you threatening me? I'm promising you, stay away from my wife, stay away from me, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll still have a business to go back to." I hung up and immediately called Monica. "Rick just called me," I told her. "What did he say?" "He tried to convince me that nothing happened, that they're just friends." Monica laughed. "Just friends don't book hotel rooms together. Just friends don't lie to their spouses. Just friends don't spend 3 months planning secret vacations. What's the latest on your end?" "Rick's dealership is in full damage control mode. His boss called me this morning, asking if there was anything they could do to resolve this situation quietly. I told him to fire Rick and we'd call it even." "Will they do it?" "They're a family business, Sam. They can't afford to have a cheating scandal attached to their name. Rick's done." Thursday afternoon, Emily texted me. "Landing at 6 p.m., we need to talk." I texted back, "Call first, the locks are changed." "This is insane, Sam. I'm your wife." "You're my cheating wife. There's a difference." At 6:30, Emily called from our apartment parking lot. "Sam, I'm outside. Please let me in." "Are you alone?" "Yes." I looked out the window. Emily was standing by her car, looking smaller and more defeated than I'd ever seen her. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Then I remembered the 3 months of lies, the secret car, the fake conference, and the feeling of being made to feel crazy for noticing my own wife's betrayal. "You can come up," I said. "But this isn't a negotiation." Emily knocked on the door like a stranger. When I opened it, she looked around our apartment like she'd never seen it before. "You really changed the locks," she said. "I really did." "Sam, we need to talk about this rationally." "We needed to talk rationally 3 months ago before you started sneaking around with Rick. Now we need to talk about divorce." Emily sat down on our couch and started crying again. This time, I didn't feel sorry for her. "I never meant for this to happen," she said. "But it did happen. You made it happen. You chose to lie to me every day for 3 months. You chose to humiliate me in front of everyone we know. You chose Rick over me. It wasn't like that." "Emily, stop. Just stop lying. I've seen the emails. I know about the planning. I know you've been driving his car and meeting him for months. I know the Miami trip was your idea, not his. I know everything." Emily looked up at me with red, swollen eyes. "How?" "Because you're not as smart as you think you are, and because you married someone who's not as stupid as you thought he was." We sat in silence for a few minutes. Finally, Emily spoke. "What happens now?" "Now you get your stuff and find somewhere else to live. We'll figure out the divorce details later." "Sam, please." "Emily, it's over. It was over the moment you decided to get on that plane to Miami. Everything since then has just been cleanup." Emily packed 2 suitcases and left without another word. As I watched her car disappear around the corner, my phone buzzed with a text from Monica. "Rick moved out tonight. Took one bag and his golf clubs. Pathetic. Then another. Want to grab a drink? I think we've earned it. I looked around my empty apartment, at the new locks and the changed life and the wreckage of an 8-year marriage. Sure, I texted back. I think we have. Friday morning brought Emily's counterattack. She'd spent the night at her sister's house, apparently plotting her comeback strategy with the desperation of a general whose army had already surrendered. The first salvo came via Facebook, a long, emotional post about abusive husbands and financial manipulation, and being locked out of her own home. She painted herself as the victim of a controlling marriage, claiming I'd isolated her from friends and monitored her every move. It was a masterpiece of manipulation, and it might have worked if Monica hadn't already spent 3 days documenting Emily's affair for the entire internet to see. The comments on Emily's post were swift and brutal. "Girl, you were caught cheating in Miami. This isn't about abuse, it's about consequences," wrote Tara from Emily's office. "Maybe don't cheat on your husband if you want to keep living in his apartment," added our neighbor Jim. "Emily, I've known you for 5 years. Sam never controlled you. You controlled him," posted Dave, bless his loyal heart. By noon, Emily had deleted the post, but screenshots live forever. Monica had captured the whole thing and posted it on her own Facebook with the caption, "When cheaters try to play victim." I was at my job site, trying to focus on a concrete delivery that was 3 hours late, when my phone rang. Emily's sister, Jessica. "Sam, you need to stop this," she said without preamble. "Emily is devastated. She's been crying all night. Jessica, Emily cheated on me. She lied to me for months. She went to Miami with another woman's husband. What exactly am I supposed to stop? This social media campaign, this public humiliation, you're destroying her life." "I'm not doing anything, Jessica. Emily destroyed her own life when she decided to have an affair. I'm just not covering for her anymore." She made a mistake. She made 100 mistakes. Every lie, every secret meeting. Every day she looked me in the eye and pretended to be faithful. Those were all choices. This isn't a mistake. It's a pattern. Jessica hung up on me. 20 minutes later, Emily's mother called. "Sam, dear, I think there's been a misunderstanding," she said, in the sweet voice she used when she wanted something. "Emily says you've been having problems, and maybe she handled things poorly, but surely you can work this out." "Mrs. Rodriguez, Emily was in Miami with Rick Franklin. She lied to me, she lied to her boss, and she lied to you. There's no misunderstanding." "Well, yes, but marriage is about forgiveness. Marriage is about honesty. Emily stopped being honest with me months ago." "Sam, please, Emily loves you. She just got confused. Emily loves the idea of having a safety net while she explores other options. That's not the same thing as loving me." I hung up and immediately got a text from Dave. "Emily's family is calling everyone, trying to get people to pressure you into taking her back. Thought you should know." Then Monica texted, "Rick's mother called me, wanted to know if we could work things out for the sake of the families. I told her to ask Rick why he thought Miami was a good idea." The pressure campaign continued all weekend. Emily's friends, her family, even our old neighbors from our previous apartment, everyone had an opinion about how I should handle my cheating wife. But something funny happened. For every person who called to tell me I should forgive Emily, 2 more called to tell me I was doing the right thing. People I barely knew were reaching out to share their own stories of betrayal and divorce, offering support and advice. "You're handling this better than I did," said Tom from my gym. "When I caught my ex cheating, I just fell apart. You're actually fighting back." "Emily always seemed fake to me," admitted Sarah, a woman from Emily's yoga class. "Like she was performing being married instead of actually being married." By Sunday, the story had taken on a life of its own. Monica had created a private Facebook group called Miami Gate Support Group, where people were sharing their own cheating spouse stories and offering each other advice. It had over 200 members. "This is insane," I told Dave over beers Sunday night. People are treating my divorce like entertainment. People love a good cheating spouse story, Dave replied, especially when the cheater gets caught so spectacularly. Emily thought she was smarter than everyone else, and now everyone gets to watch her learn otherwise. I just wanted her to stop lying to me. Mission accomplished. She can't lie to you anymore because everyone knows the truth. Monday morning brought Emily's nuclear option. She showed up at my job site. I was reviewing blueprints with my foreman when I heard shouting from the parking area. Emily was standing next to a taxi, wearing her best wronged wife outfit and carrying a folder that probably contained divorce papers. "Sam," she called out, "we need to talk." Every worker on the site stopped what they were doing. Construction workers love drama, especially when it doesn't involve them personally. "Emily, you can't be here," I said, walking over to her. "This is a work site. You need a hard hat and safety gear. I need to talk to my husband. Your husband is working, and you don't live with your husband anymore because you decided to take a vacation with Rick Franklin instead." A few of the guys chuckled. Emily's face turned red. "Sam, please, can we just talk privately?" "Emily, there's nothing private about our marriage anymore. You made sure of that when you posted on Facebook about what a terrible husband I am. I was upset. You were caught. There's a difference." Emily opened her folder and pulled out a stack of papers. "These are divorce papers. I'm filing for divorce, and I'm asking for half of everything." "Good luck with that," I said. "You might want to check with a lawyer about how adultery affects property division in this state." Emily's confidence wavered. "What do you mean?" "I mean, you might want to think about whether those Miami hotel photos are going to help or hurt your case." One of my workers, a guy named Tony who'd been divorced twice, whistled low. "Damn, Sam, you did your homework." Emily looked around at the circle of construction workers watching her, like she was a particularly entertaining reality show. "This is harassment." "This is consequences," I replied. "You want to talk? Call me. You want to serve me papers? Have your lawyer call my lawyer. But don't show up at my job and make a scene." "Your lawyer? You don't have a lawyer?" I smiled. "I do now. Monica Franklin recommended hers. Apparently she specializes in cases involving adultery." Emily's face went pale. She grabbed her papers, climbed back into the taxi, and left without another word. Tony clapped me on the shoulder. "Brother, that was beautiful. Your wife just learned what happens when you bring drama to a construction site." "Ex-wife," I corrected. "Even better." That afternoon, Monica called with an update. "Rick hired a lawyer, some expensive guy from downtown who specializes in reputation management." "What does that mean?" "It means Rick's going to try to claim he's the victim of a vindictive ex-wife. He's going to say, 'I'm making everything up because I'm jealous and unstable.'" "Will that work?" "Not when I have 3 months of emails, hotel receipts, and Emily's own text messages admitting to the affair. Rick's lawyer is expensive, but he's not a magician." "What about Emily?" "Emily can't afford a good lawyer. She's been out of work for a week, and Rick's not exactly in a position to help her financially. She's going to have to use a public defender or represent herself." "This feels like overkill." "Sam, they didn't just cheat. They planned to humiliate you, take your money, and leave you with nothing. Emily was already talking to Rick about moving in together after the divorce. They thought you were too stupid to figure it out and too weak to fight back. This isn't overkill. This is justice." Monica was right, of course. Emily and Rick hadn't just had an affair. They'd planned a future together at my expense. They'd calculated that I'd be too devastated or too proud to make their betrayal public. They'd miscalculated. Tuesday brought the final escalation. Rick showed up at my apartment. I was eating dinner and watching the news when someone started pounding on my door. Through the peephole, I could see Rick Franklin, looking like he hadn't slept in days. "Sam, open the door. We need to talk man to man." I opened the door but kept the chain lock engaged. "Rick, you're not supposed to be here. This has gone too far. You're destroying my life over a misunderstanding." "Rick, You took my wife to Miami. You helped her lie to me for months. You gave her a car to drive so she could sneak around behind my back. What exactly did I misunderstand? It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen? You were going to steal my wife quietly? You were going to help her divorce me without anyone finding out about your affair? Rick looked desperate, wild-eyed. Monica froze all our accounts. She's trying to take everything. Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to cheat on her. You don't understand. I love Emily. Rick, you're a married man who seduced someone else's wife. You don't love Emily. You love the thrill of getting away with something. That's not true. Then why didn't you divorce Monica first? Why all the sneaking around? If you really loved Emily, you would have handled this honorably. Rick stared at me through the gap in the door. You're enjoying this. Rick, I'm surviving this. There's a difference. He left without another word, but I could hear him making phone calls in the hallway. 20 minutes later, my phone rang. Sam, this is Detective Williams with the city police. We got a call about a harassment complaint. Can you tell me what happened? I explained the situation, the affair, the divorce, Rick showing up at my door. Detective Williams listened patiently. Mr. Callahan, did you threaten Mr. Franklin in any way? No, sir. I told him he wasn't supposed to be here, and suggested he should have divorced his wife before pursuing mine. Did you post anything threatening on social media? I haven't posted anything on social media. My ex-wife's affair became public when she texted me about it, and Rick's wife shared the information. I've been responding to questions, but I haven't initiated any of the publicity. I see. Well, Mr. Franklin claims you're orchestrating a harassment campaign against him. Detective, Rick Franklin helped my wife lie to me for 3 months, then took her to Miami for a romantic vacation. When that became public knowledge, he lost his job and his wife filed for divorce. He's looking for someone to blame besides himself. Detective Williams chuckled. Mr. Callahan, I've been doing this job for 15 years. I've seen a lot of cheating spouse cases. Usually the betrayed spouse does something stupid, follows them around, makes threatening phone calls, vandalizes property. You've been remarkably restrained. I just want them to leave me alone. Well, I'm going to have a conversation with Mr. Franklin about appropriate boundaries, and I'm going to suggest he focus on his own legal problems instead of bothering you. After the detective hung up, I sat in my quiet apartment and realized something. I was winning. Not just the divorce, not just the public relations battle, but the whole war. Emily and Rick had tried to destroy my life quietly, and instead they'd destroyed their own lives publicly. It was almost over. Wednesday morning, I woke up to find that Emily had made one last desperate play. She'd given an interview to Channel 7's morning show about domestic abuse and financial manipulation. The interview aired at 6 a.m., apparently timed to catch me off guard. It was a masterclass in victim playing. Emily sat in the studio wearing a conservative dress and minimal makeup, looking fragile and wounded. She talked about feeling trapped in our marriage, about my controlling behavior, and about how I'd weaponized social media against her. Sam isolated me from my friends, she told the sympathetic host. He monitored my phone, questioned my every move, and made me feel like a prisoner in my own home. When I finally found the courage to reach out to an old friend for support, he turned it into something ugly and vindictive. The old friend, of course, was Rick. The reaching out for support was 3 months of planning a secret vacation. But Emily told it like she was escaping an abusive marriage, not conducting an affair. It was brilliant, actually. If I hadn't spent the last 2 weeks documenting her lies, it might have even worked. My phone started ringing before the interview was over. Dave, Monica, my co-workers, even Mrs. Patterson. Everyone wanted to know if I'd seen it. She's good, Monica said when I answered her call. I'll give her that. If I didn't have emails of her planning to leave you for Rick, I might actually believe her. What do? We tell the truth, all of it, everything we've been holding back. Monica, Sam, Emily just declared war on live television. She's trying to destroy your reputation to save her own. We can't let her get away with that." Monica was right. Emily had escalated beyond private drama into public character assassination. She was betting that her version of events, the abused wife escaping a controlling husband, would be more appealing than the truth. She was about to lose that bet. By 10 a.m., Monica had posted a response video on Facebook. Not a rant, not an emotional outburst, but a calm, methodical presentation of evidence. She showed Emily's emails planning the Miami trip. She showed the hotel reservations Rick had made. She showed the photos Emily had posted from Miami, clearly showing her and Rick together. "This is Emily Callahan," Monica said in the video, showing a screenshot of Emily's text to me. "Don't be jealous. It's just a harmless trip to Miami with my ex." This is not the language of an abused wife reaching out to a friend for support. This is the language of someone who thinks her husband is too stupid to figure out what she's doing. The video went viral immediately. Within 2 hours, it had been shared over 1,000 times. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive of Monica and me. "Emily played herself," wrote one commenter. "You can't claim abuse when there's evidence of you bragging about cheating." "This woman went on TV and lied about domestic abuse. That's disgusting," added another. By noon, Channel 7 had called Monica asking for an interview. By 2 p.m., they'd called me. "Mr. Callahan, we'd like to give you a chance to respond to your wife's allegations," said the producer who called me. "Ex-wife," I corrected, "and I don't think a TV interview is the right forum for this." "But surely you want to defend yourself against these serious accusations." "The evidence speaks for itself. Emily's own text messages, emails, and social media posts tell the real story. Anyone who wants to know the truth can look at the actual evidence instead of listening to someone who's been lying for months." "So you're declining to appear on the show?" "I'm declining to participate in Emily's publicity campaign. She's trying to rewrite history, and I'm not going to help her do it." The producer seemed disappointed, but I didn't care. Emily wanted to turn our divorce into a media circus, but I wasn't going to be a performer in her show. Instead, I did something better. I called my lawyer, Monica's recommendation, a sharp woman named Janet Morrison who specialized in high-conflict divorces. "Janet, Emily just went on TV claiming I'm abusive. What are our options?" "Well, Sam, the good news is that she just created a public record of false statements. If she makes these same claims in court, we can use the TV interview to impeach her credibility." "What do you mean?" "I mean, Emily just gave us everything we need to destroy her case. She's claiming abuse, but we have evidence of her conducting a months-long affair. She's claiming financial manipulation, but the bank records show she was spending money on hotels and dinners with Rick. She's claiming isolation, but her own social media shows her going out constantly. So this actually helps us?" "Sam, Emily just committed legal suicide on live television. Her lawyer is probably having a panic attack right now." Janet was right. By Thursday morning, Emily's lawyer had called asking for a settlement conference. Emily wanted to resolve things quickly and quietly now that her media strategy had backfired. "She's scared," Monica told me over coffee Thursday afternoon. "The TV interview was supposed to generate sympathy and pressure you into a favorable settlement. Instead, it just gave you more ammunition." "I almost feel sorry for her." "Don't. Emily made her choices. She chose to lie, she chose to cheat, and she chose to try to destroy your reputation when she got caught. She's not a victim, Sam. She's a perpetrator who got outplayed." Thursday night, Emily called me directly for the first time since she'd moved out. "Sam, we need to talk." "Emily, you went on TV and called me abusive. I think we're past talking. I was hurt and angry. I said things I didn't mean." "You mean you lied on television the same way you lied to me for 3 months? Please, Sam, can we just end this? I'll take whatever you think is fair. I just want it to be over." "Emily, you don't get to control the timeline anymore. You don't get to decide when this ends or how it ends. You gave up that right when you decided to cheat on me. I'm sorry. I'm really, truly sorry. I know you are. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry it became public. You're sorry your plan didn't work. But you're not sorry you did it. That's not true. Emily, if you hadn't gotten caught, you'd still be lying to me right now. You'd still be planning your future with Rick. You'd still be treating me like I was too stupid to figure out what you were doing. Silence. The divorce will be finalized when it's finalized, I continued. You'll get what the law says you're entitled to, minus whatever penalties apply for adultery. If you want it over faster, you should have thought about that before you went to Miami. I hung up and immediately got a text from Monica. Rick's moving back in with his mother. His lawyer dropped him as a client. Why? Because Rick can't pay his bills anymore. Lost his job, lost his wife, lost his house. Turns out cheating is expensive. Friday brought the final piece of Emily's downfall. Her former boss, Patricia Chen, called to let me know that Emily had been terminated for cause. We completed our investigation into Emily's use of company time and resources, Patricia explained. She was conducting personal business during work hours, using company equipment for personal communications, and falsifying timesheets. We had no choice but to terminate her employment. Will this affect her ability to find another job? Sam, Emily went on television and made false accusations against her husband. Then evidence came out proving she was lying. Her reputation in this industry is finished. So Emily had lost her marriage, her job, and her reputation. Rick had lost his job, his marriage, and his business relationships. They'd gambled everything on a weekend in Miami, and they'd lost everything. That evening, I was cleaning out the last of Emily's belongings from our apartment when I found something interesting, a notebook hidden in her dresser drawer. It was full of plans, not just for the Miami trip, but for her entire exit strategy. Emily had been planning to leave me for 6 months. She'd calculated how much money she could take, where she would live, how she would explain it to friends and family. She'd even written out scripts for difficult conversations. On the last page, she'd written, "Sam will never see this coming. He's too trusting and too lazy to pay attention. By the time he figures out what's happening, it'll be too late." I took a photo of that page and sent it to Monica. "Wow," she texted back. "Emily really thought you were stupid." Yeah, she was wrong about that. She was wrong about a lot of things. Saturday morning, I woke up in my quiet apartment and realized something. It was over. Emily was gone, Rick was gone, and I was free. Free from lies, free from manipulation, free from feeling crazy for noticing my own wife's betrayal. My phone buzzed with a text from Dave. "Want to grab breakfast? I'm buying. We're celebrating your victory." "What victory?" "Sam, you just won the most public divorce in city history. Emily and Rick tried to destroy you, and instead they destroyed themselves. That's not just a victory, that's a masterpiece." Dave was right. Emily and Rick had underestimated me, underestimated Monica, and overestimated their own cleverness. They'd thought they could lie and manipulate their way to happiness, but they'd forgotten that lies have consequences. As I got dressed to meet Dave for breakfast, I looked around my apartment, my space, my rules, my life, and smiled. Emily had been right about one thing. By the time she figured out what was happening, it was too late. But she'd been wrong about who was going to be sorry. 3 weeks after Emily's disastrous TV interview, I thought the drama was over. Rick had moved back in with his mother, Emily was living with her sister and working at a coffee shop, and Monica and I had settled into an unlikely friendship, built on shared experience and mutual respect for good revenge. I was wrong about it being over. Saturday night, I was at home watching a movie when my security system started beeping. I'd installed cameras after Emily moved out, partly for legal protection, partly because I'd learned not to trust anyone who had keys to my life. The camera showed Emily and Rick standing in my parking lot, looking up at my apartment like they were planning something stupid. Emily was gesticulating wildly, clearly agitated. Rick kept shaking his head, but he wasn't leaving. My phone buzzed with a text from Emily. "We need to talk. Face to face. Tonight." I texted back, "No, we can talk through lawyers. Sam, please, this is important. I have something that belongs to you. Everything that belongs to me is already here. Please, 5 minutes. I promise we'll leave after that." Against my better judgment, I buzzed them up. But first, I called Dave. "Emily and Rick are here," I told him, "together." "That's either really stupid or really desperate." "Probably both. Can you come over?" "On my way." I also texted Monica. "The dynamic duo is at my place. Thought you should know." "Want me to call the police?" "Not yet, but stay close to your phone." Emily knocked on my door exactly like she used to when we were married. 3 quick raps, then 2 more. Some habits die hard. I opened the door but didn't invite them in. Emily looked terrible, thin, pale, with dark circles under her eyes that makeup couldn't hide. Rick looked worse. He'd lost weight, his clothes were wrinkled, and he had the desperate look of a man whose life had completely fallen apart. "Sam," Emily said, "we need to talk about what happened." "What happened is that you cheated on me and got caught. What's to discuss?" "It's more complicated than that." "Emily, you've been saying it's complicated for a month. It's not complicated. You lied, you cheated, you got caught, and now you're dealing with the consequences." Rick stepped forward. "Sam, man, we never meant for things to get this crazy." "Rick, you helped my wife lie to me for 3 months. You took her to Miami. You gave her a car to drive so she could sneak around behind my back. What exactly didn't you mean to happen?" "We didn't mean for everyone to find out like this. We were going to handle it quietly, respectfully." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Respectfully? Rick, you were fucking my wife. There's nothing respectful about that." Emily flinched. "Sam, please what? Please pretend this didn't happen. Please forgive you so you can do it again. Please make this easier for you." "We want to make this right," Rick said. "You want to make this right? Give me a time machine. Let me go back to before you decided to destroy my marriage. Let me go back to when my wife actually loved me instead of planning to leave me for a car salesman." "I did love you," Emily said quietly. "Emily, I found your notebook. The one where you wrote that I was too stupid to figure out what you were doing. The one where you planned your whole exit strategy. That's not love. That's calculation." Emily's face went white. "You weren't supposed to find that." "I wasn't supposed to find a lot of things, but I did. Because despite what you wrote in that notebook, I'm not actually stupid." Rick was getting agitated. "Look, Sam, we get it. You're angry. But this public humiliation thing has gone too far. Emily lost her job. I lost my business. Monica took everything in the divorce. We've been punished enough." "Rick, you haven't been punished at all. You've experienced consequences. There's a difference." "What do you want from us?" Emily asked. "What will it take for you to call off Monica and end this social media campaign?" "I want you to understand something," I said, looking directly at Emily. "I'm not running a social media campaign. I'm not controlling Monica. I'm not orchestrating anything. You created this situation by cheating and lying. Monica responded to being betrayed by her husband. Other people responded to watching someone they knew get screwed over. This isn't a conspiracy against you. This is what happens when you treat people like garbage." "But you could stop it," Rick said. "You could ask people to leave us alone." "Why would I do that? You didn't leave me alone. You spent 3 months interfering in my marriage. You helped my wife lie to me every single day. You planned to take her away from me and let me find out after the fact. Why should I protect you from the consequences of your own actions?" That's when Rick made his mistake. He stepped closer to me, trying to use his height to intimidate me. "Because if you don't, things might get worse for everyone involved." "Is that a threat, Rick?" "It's a reality check. This situation is getting out of hand." I pulled out my phone and started recording. "Rick, are you threatening me?" "I'm not threatening anyone. I'm just saying that everyone has secrets, and maybe yours should stay private." What secrets would those be? Rick looked confused. He'd expected me to back down, to be scared of whatever imaginary leverage he thought he had. Sam, Emily said. Rick didn't mean... Rick meant exactly what he said. He's threatening to make up lies about me if I don't somehow magically undo the consequences of your affair. Dave's voice came from behind them. Is there a problem here? I'd given Dave a spare key weeks ago. He'd let himself in and had been listening from the hallway. No problem, I said. Rick was just leaving. Actually, Dave said, I think Rick was just threatening Sam. I heard the whole thing. Rick's face went red. I wasn't threatening anyone. Rick, Dave said calmly, I work security. I know what a threat sounds like. You just told Sam that things might get worse if he doesn't do what you want. That's textbook intimidation. This is ridiculous, Emily said. We just came here to talk. You came here to pressure Sam into cleaning up the mess you made, Dave replied. And when he wouldn't cooperate, Rick decided to try intimidation. My phone rang. Monica. Sam, I'm downstairs. I saw Emily's car in your parking lot. Come on up, I said. The gang's all here. Emily looked panicked. Monica doesn't need to be involved in this. Monica's already involved. You involved her when you decided to have an affair with her husband. When Monica arrived, the dynamic in my small living room shifted completely. Emily and Rick suddenly looked like what they were, two people who'd made terrible decisions and were now facing someone they'd wronged directly. Well, Monica said, looking around the room, this is cozy. The cheaters came to visit. Monica, Emily said, we're trying to resolve this situation. What situation is that, Emily? The situation where you fucked my husband? Or the situation where you're both facing the consequences of fucking my husband? We're trying to move forward, Rick said weakly. Move forward? Monica laughed. Rick, you destroyed 2 marriages, lost your job, lost your house, and lost your reputation. Where exactly are you moving forward to? We want to start over, Emily said. Together. But we can't do that with all this negativity following us around. Negativity? I stared at her. Emily, you call the consequences of cheating negativity? We made mistakes. You made choices. Every lie, every secret meeting, every day you looked me in the eye and pretended to be faithful. Those were choices. And now you're living with the results of those choices. Rick tried one more time. Sam, be reasonable. We're all adults here. Adults take responsibility for their actions, Dave said. Adults don't blame other people when their lies catch up with them. Adults don't threaten people when they don't get their way, Monica added. Emily started crying again. The real tears, not the manipulative ones. This isn't how it was supposed to happen. How was it supposed to happen? I asked. You were going to divorce me quietly, take half my stuff, and run off with Rick? I was going to find out you'd been cheating for months and just accept it? You were going to destroy my life and I was going to thank you for it? We didn't want to hurt anyone. Emily, you can't have an affair without hurting people. You can't lie to someone for months without hurting them. You can't plan to abandon your marriage without hurting your spouse. You wanted to hurt me quietly, privately, where no one would see it. But you got caught, and now everyone can see what you did. Monica stepped forward. Here's what's going to happen. You two are going to leave Sam alone. You're going to stop calling, stop texting, stop showing up at his home. You're going to handle your divorce through lawyers like civilized people. And if we don't? Rick asked. If you don't, I'll make sure everyone knows that you came here tonight to threaten Sam. I'll make sure your mother knows, Rick. I'll make sure Emily's new boss knows. I'll make sure everyone in both your families knows that when you couldn't manipulate your way out of consequences, you resorted to intimidation. Emily and Rick looked at each other. They'd come here hoping to pressure me into somehow fixing their reputations, into asking people to forgive and forget. Instead, they'd made things worse for themselves. This isn't over, Rick said as they headed for the door. Yes, it is, I replied. It's been over since the moment Emily texted me from Miami. Everything since then has just been you two figuring out how badly you miscalculated. After they left, Dave, Monica, and I sat in my living room processing what had just happened. They're desperate, Monica said. Rick's mother is threatening to kick him out. Emily can't find a decent job because everyone knows she's a cheater and a liar. They thought if they could pressure you into asking people to back off, maybe they could rebuild their lives somewhere else. Will they try something else? I asked. Probably not, Dave said. Rick's not actually dangerous, just stupid. And Emily's too worried about her own reputation to do anything that would make her look worse. What happens now? Monica smiled. Now they disappear. They'll probably move to another city, try to start over where no one knows their story. Rick will get a job selling used cars somewhere. Emily will find work in some industry where they don't Google applicants. They'll probably stay together for a while, bonded by their shared humiliation. Will they be happy? Sam, Monica said, people who are capable of what they did aren't capable of happiness. They'll always be looking for something better, someone else to blame, another shortcut to what they want. They'll probably cheat on each other eventually. Dave raised his beer. To Sam Callahan, who proved that sometimes the good guys win. To Monica Franklin, I replied, who proved that revenge is a dish best served publicly. To both of you, Monica said, for showing me that when someone screws you over, you don't have to take it quietly. We drank to that. 6 months later, I heard through the neighborhood gossip network that Emily and Rick had moved to Phoenix. Rick was selling cars at a small lot on the outskirts of town. Emily was working as a receptionist at a dental office. They'd gotten what they wanted. They were together. But they'd lost everything else in the process. Monica and I stayed friends. She started a support group for people dealing with cheating spouses, and it grew into a small non-profit organization. She found her calling in helping other people navigate the aftermath of betrayal. Dave remained Dave, loyal, sarcastic, and always ready with a beer and good advice. As for me, I learned that I was stronger than I'd thought, smarter than people assumed, and capable of fighting back when someone tried to destroy my life. Emily had been wrong about a lot of things, but she'd been especially wrong about one. I wasn't too stupid to figure out what she was doing. I was just smart enough to let her destroy herself while I watched. And sometimes, that's the best revenge of all.